Good morning. My name's Annie, and I am going to be taking you through a 20-minute morning yoga practice to get you ready for your day. So just come to a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on a bolster. If you have blocks and bolsters and props, that's amazing. If not, you can always make do with whatever you can get your hands on. But just make yourself comfortable. You can either be sitting on your knees or sitting with your legs crossed. And then just let your hands rest onto the thighs. And begin to close your eyes. Maybe kind of wet the lips, let the jaw soften, let the tongue rest in the mouth. And have this sense of your body resting back slightly. So rather than seeking forward with the chin, just let the skull stack on top of a straight spine. Notice if your shoulders are up by your ears. Without force, just let them glide down the back of the rib cage a little. And just rest here. Allowing yourself to be still. And start to picture the movement of your breath as it draws in through the nose, filling the body, and draws back out through the nose. And just continue this nasal breathing, unless, of course, you've got a cold or a blocked nose, in which case you can breathe however feels comfortable for you this morning. And start to track your awareness onto your breath. So you can visualize the pathway of the breath as it draws in and out of the body. Next time you breathe in, take a nice deep breath. Open the mouth and let out a sigh. And gathering the hands to touch at the center of the chest, letting the thumbs press against the sternum. Take a moment here to set an intention not only for your practice but for the day ahead. So what energy, what intention would you like to bring into your day? And we'll use that through our practice so that we can ground ourselves into that choice and that intention. So that when we leave the mat in 20 minutes' time, we can move forwards with that energy, that commitment to the day ahead. And once you have that intention in your mind and in your heart, gently blink the eyes open. Place the hands, the fingers in an interlace so that the fingers come up to the opposite webbing, and just start to roll through the wrists. So just feeling any pops, any clicks, just starting to bring a little bit of movement and energy to the wrist joint. And you can go one way, then the other. Breathing in and out through the nose. Maybe the slower you go, the more kind of depth you can find in the movement. And then you can separate the hands, give them a good shake. And then take the right wrist with your left hand and draw the lower arm, so the skin of the wrist, downwards as you make a fist with the hand. And then start to make a big circle with the wrist. So this is quite a nice way to warm up the hand and the wrist. If you're going to spend most of the day at a computer typing, we can get kind of stiff from that repetitive movement. So this is quite a nice way to warm up before that as well. And then swap to the other side. So you're circling in one direction and then taking the circle in the other direction. Nice. And then give the wrists another shake, the hands a shake. And if you are on cross legs, sitting in cross legs, just bring yourself forward, untuck the legs from underneath you, tuck the toes, and let yourself rest back onto the heels. So all 10 toes are tucked underneath your seat. Some people, this is really uncomfortable, in which case you can put books or cushions or something underneath the hands just to take a little bit of the weight out of the feet. But it should feel like an opening up of the tissues of the feet and the toes. And if the little toes are too short to get any of the stretch, then you can separate your heels slightly just to change the way that the weight is resting through the feet so that your toes get to join in as well, your little toes. And we'll take 3 more breaths. Try not to let the tension creep up into the jaw and the shoulders up to the ears. See if you can actually breathe the tension out of the body rather than just transfer it somewhere else. Nice. And then place the hands onto the floor. You're going to untuck the toes, tap the tops of the feet to the ground. And then from here, tuck your toes, walk your hands back. When they get to the knees, you're going to push the weight into the feet. And then you'll find yourself in a forward fold. Catching hold of opposite elbows, just letting the head hang heavy. And if you're super tight first thing in the morning, it's nice to bend the knees a little bit more so that you can really drape the body over the front of the legs. And then releasing the hands, start to walk them all the way to the top of the mat. And as you arrive at the top of the mat, press into the hands, bend your knees and lift your seat up to downward facing dog. And have a little pedal through the legs, maybe holding for a few breaths on each side. So you can really start to open up through the back of the legs. So nothing here is forced. You're trying to work with the body, not against it. And using the breath to gently create a little bit of space. Nice. And then drawing up through the belly, start to walk the feet slowly to the top of the mat. And when you arrive, bend the knees, take the hands behind your back, interlacing the fingers. Start to draw the hands over the head. Draw your lower belly in, root down through the feet and keep the collarbones wide. Nice, and then release the hands. Push down through the feet so the entire network of the feet are connecting to the earth. Drawing the belly in. Start to roll all the way up the spine, stacking the bones one by one, until you can slide your shoulder blades down the back of the rib cage, turning the palms forward. And standing at the top of the mat, toes can either touch or you can keep a little bit of space between the feet, whatever feels most comfortable. And then take a couple of breaths. Just start to feel the movement of the breath in the body again if you've lost that. And take an inhale, reach the arms over the head. Exhale, folding forward, scoop the core as your hands meet the earth, framing the feet. Bend your knees. And then look up halfway, come up onto the fingertips or place your hands on your shins so you can lengthen the spine, back of the neck is long. Exhale, plant the palms, step your feet to the back of the mat, taking a high plank pose. From high plank, lower your knees to the floor and send your chest between your thumbs. Elbows draw into the waist. And then peel the heart space away from the earth on an inhale, coming through a cobra pose. Exhale, tuck your toes. Push into the hands. Downward facing dog. So just using the breath to iron out any kind of clunky bits of the body. especially first thing in the morning. It's really usual to feel a bit tighter than if you were doing this at the end of the day. So just be kind, working with the body, working with the breath. And remembering the intention that you set just a few moments ago. Let's raise your right leg to the sky on your next inhale. On an exhale, step the foot between the palms at the top of the mat. Drop your back knee to the floor, point the left toes back, and reach the arms over your head. Now find your inner thighs and think about the lower body grounding down and then using that to lift up out of the waist. As you squeeze the outer hips, squeeze the inner thighs, stabilizing the pelvis. Start to draw forwards if you have the space to open up through the left thigh. Arms can come over the head, or if it's too strong, you can have them on the thigh in front of you. Lengthening through the lower back. Take a breath in. Exhale, place your hands to the floor. Tuck your back toes, lift the knee, and step back to your high plank. Exhale the knees to the floor, chest between your thumbs. Inhale through cobra pose, peel the chest away from the earth. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Left leg rises, inhale. Slowly step that foot between the palms at the top of the mat. And if it doesn't get there in one go, you can always help it through with your hand. Square your hips as you drop your back knee. Point the toes behind you and reach up. Finding that support from the inner thighs, outer hips. Stabilizing the pelvis, rooting down through the lower body and extending out of the waist. Shoulders move away from the ears, but without force. Take a breath in. And exhale the hands to frame the foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your knees. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. You can either lower knees and chest to the floor or take one long line, chaturanga. Body is straight, use your core. Lifting the thighs for upward dog or keeping the lower body down. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. And you can choose to be in down dog for a couple of breaths or take the knees to the floor and find a child's pose. Whatever it is that you need this morning, take that. And at the end of your next breath, begin to look forward, step or jump the feet to the top of the mat. Pouring the body over the toes as you exhale. Reach the arms over the head, root through the feet, inhale, rise up. And exhale, the hands draw through the heart center. So coming to stand tall at the top of the mat again. And then begin to root down through the feet, stabilize through the hips, lifting the thighs and lifting the top of the head. Without popping your hip to one side, shift your weight into your left foot. Ground down through the left foot and pick up your right knee into your chest. You can maybe hug the knee in for a moment. And then releasing the knee, reach your arms over your head. Slow as you can, step that right foot to the back of the mat. As the toes come down, drop your back heel, warrior one. So using the outside of the back foot, making sure that there's about a hip width between the feet so that the hips can stay square to the top of the mat. The arms are over the head, lower belly draws in. Drawing left hip back and your left knee stacks over the ankle. Take a breath in. And exhale, warrior two, maybe lengthening the step. Again, rooting through the outside of the back foot, engage up the back leg. This time the hips can open to the long edge of the mat and the fingers can lengthen. Take a breath, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, stretch the side of the body. And as you exhale, land the hands either side of the left foot. Come onto the ball of your back foot. Root your hand to the floor, maybe turning the fingers out to 1 o'clock as you peel your left fingers to the sky. long through the back of the body, leaning the upper back into the space behind you. Take a breath in. Exhale the hand to the floor. Look forwards. Shift the weight to the left foot. Maybe a little standing balance as you place your right foot down to the floor slowly. Bend your knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. And on an exhale, fold the body over the toes. Root down through the feet, slowly roll up the spine, stacking bone by bone. Taking the arms over the head when you reach the top. And exhale, the hands draw through the heart center. Let's shift the weight into the right foot this time. So as you root down through the right foot, bring the left knee into the chest. Slow as you can. In fact, let's take a little moment here because we did it on the other side. And then as slowly as you can, release the knee, take the arms over your head, and step the left foot to the back of the mat. Keeping a hip width between the feet as you ground the back heel, warrior one. So adjusting the step if you need to. Draw your right hip back in space. Lengthening through the navel. Take a breath in. And exhale, warrior two. Good. Can you center the weight between your feet? Just keep an eye on this front knee, making sure it's not rolling in or out. Flip your front palm, reversing the warrior. And as you exhale, land your hands either side of the right foot. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot, maybe turning the fingertips to 11 o'clock. And then peel the right hand towards the sky. Draw the right shoulder blade down the back of the body. Take a breath in. As you exhale, framing the right foot. Look forward as you shift your weight into the front leg. Slowly placing the left foot next to the right at the top of the mat. Inhale, chair pose. Reach the arms over the head, lengthening the spine. And exhale, fold forwards. Hands meet the earth. Look up halfway as you inhale. Exhale, plant your palms and step or jump the feet back. Let's lower through a vinyasa, chest forward, elbows into the waist. Peeling the heart space forward on an inhale. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in through the nose. And a big sigh, letting it go. And then lower the knees to the floor. Send your seat to your heels, finding your way into a child's pose. And then start to walk the hands up towards the knees. You can bring the knees together. And then you have a choice. You can either close the practice with a relaxation on the back of the body, or come back to that seated meditation pose that you began your practice with. And if you need more time to kind of ground yourself down, then perhaps a little bit longer in child's pose will serve you well. But otherwise, we'll arrive onto the back of the body, taking a deep breath in through the nose and a big sigh to let it go. And then letting yourself surrender to the support of the earth for a few moments of relaxation. Or alternatively, you're in your seated meditation pose. And we're going to find a 3-part breath. You can do this lying down as well. So as you breathe in, fill the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath. And as you breathe out, empty from the chest, the rib cage, and then the belly. breathing in to fill the belly and the lower back, the whole of the rib cage, the chest and the upper back, and then out from the top, the middle, and the bottom of the torso. So breathing in this flow of breath that expands belly, rib cage, chest, and out, chest, rib cage, and belly. Just a very relaxing, simple pranayama that you can come back to at any point during the day where you feel like you need to reset the body and the breath. And then when you're ready, if you're lying on the back of the body, you can come up to seated in your own time. And from seated, we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. And a big sigh, letting it go. Just reminding yourself as you gather the hands at the center of the chest of the intention that you chose for your day ahead. And as you step off the mat this morning, carrying that intention with you so that you can bring that energy as an offering into whatever it is that your day has in store for you. Have a lovely day. Namaste.